We are going to go back month by month and talk about exactly how much weight I lost every single month during my GLP-1 journey. This is a video that you guys voted on. I put up a poll that had 4 different video ideas, and this one won by a landslide. So here it is for you, a month by month breakdown of exactly how much weight I have lost on this journey over the last 25 months. So yes, this is going to be a little bit of a long one, but it's what you asked for, and I am here to deliver. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nick, and I have been on GLP-1 medications for over 2 years, losing 75-ish pounds on GLP-1 medications, but I've actually lost over 90 pounds since my highest weight. My highest weight was 277 pounds, and today I am currently 181 pounds. So I am getting very, very close to losing an entire 100 pounds from my highest weight, which is absolutely insane to say. But during this journey, there have been months that had big losses and months that had tiny losses and even months that had gains. And usually there's a reason for the gains and a reason for the big losses. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go month by month and talk about the things that were happening during that month, my mindset, the things that I was doing, what worked, maybe what didn't work, why I was stalled. We're going to talk about all of the things. We'll talk about my journey with semaglutide and why I transitioned to tirzepatide and when I transitioned to tirzepatide and if that made a difference and how that made a difference. Did it push things faster? We'll talk about where I'm at today and what the plans are for the future. We will get into all of this today in this video. So if you are here and this is content that you like, if you are on a weight loss journey, if you like watching weight loss content, definitely subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you a part of this community where we are just supporting each other. I am an open book. I'm happy to answer anything and everything that you want to know. I am here for you to help you on your weight loss journey because I know that this is possible. And even if it's going to take over 2 years, it is still possible. But what you're going to notice throughout this video is that even though it has taken over 2 years, a bulk of my weight loss happened the first year of my journey. And this last year has been just a whole bunch of other things that are going on. And we'll talk about all of that. And I am extremely excited about this video. So let's get into it. We're going to have a running total right here of the exact amount of weight that I've lost at any given point during this journey. Let's go ahead and put a big fat 0 right here because I have not lost any weight. It is the first month back in March of 2023. I'm not going to get into exactly why I started this journey and all of the factors behind that. I actually have a video on that. I have my 75-pound weight loss story where I talk about the whys and the reasons and how and all of those things. So that video I will actually link at the end of this video if you want to watch that. But I'm going to just kind of stick to mostly facts in this video and what happened exactly during that month. So March 2023, I started semaglutide sublinguals. Semaglutide sublinguals are these little pills that you put underneath your tongue and they dissolve and you have to take them every single day. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what GLP-1 medications were. I didn't know what semaglutide was. I didn't know what tirzepatide was. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was introduced to this medication at a med spa that I went to. The second I left that med spa, I jumped onto social media, I did research, and I found the TikTok GLP-1 community. And back then, in March of 2023, it was teeny tiny. Now you get on there, there's women, men all over the place talking about GLP-1 medications. But in March of 2023, it was very tiny. The GLP-1 community was teeny tiny. But I found some really amazing women who were on this journey, and I started binging their content and I started learning from them. And I also, of course, went to our best friend Google, did a whole bunch of Google research because I wanted to learn everything about these medications. And I went into my first month with high expectations because I had seen all of these stories, all of these success stories. Everyone that I was watching was doing amazing, even though it wasn't a lot of people, but they were sharing these amazing stories, and I wanted to be one of those. So I noticed pretty quickly that the food noise started disappearing, even with the sublinguals. The sublinguals were working, they were doing the job. My food noise started going away. I wasn't like tracking a ton of food, or I wasn't really making a lot of changes, but just naturally, because of the medication and the food noise diminishing, it started to happen. And I ended up having a really great first month. So my starting weight was 258.6 pounds. By the end of this month, I was 249.8 pounds, which gives me a monthly loss of 8.8 pounds. So month one, 8.8 pounds. This was amazing. Like, I hadn't lost this much weight in 1 month, I don't think ever. So I am up on a high horse. I am celebrating. I am so freaking excited. I was also doing research to start an injectable form because the sublingual form that I was on was like almost $600 per month. It was so expensive, and I was seeing everyone else taking an injectable GLP-1, and I didn't know what the hell that was, but I wanted whatever everyone else had. So I started doing my research. I looked up all of these telehealth companies. I looked literally everywhere, and I landed on MinuteMD because they were the most affordable GLP-1 medication that I could find at the time. So I signed up with them, and I got my GLP-1 medication sometime within like that first month. I think I had it like 2 weeks before I was going to finish my 1 month supply of the sublinguals. So literally second month, month 2, I started compounded semaglutide in injectable form versus the sublingual. In month 2, I started really thinking like, this is going to work. Things are looking good. My food noise is gone. I was feeling amazing. So I actually started making a little bit more of an effort, started tracking more of my food. I started doing what I eat in a days on TikTok. I started building my TikTok community. And within that, other people were watching my story and commenting on it, and kind of lit this fire underneath me to really do something else besides nothing. And I started just eating a little bit better and tracking my protein. And I remember I tried like protein shakes and protein bars, and I tried all of the things. And in month 2, I also started taking an MIC-B12 shot because I started noticing that like my energy was crashing a little bit on the semaglutide, and people were saying that MIC-B12 would help. So I ordered a 3-month supply of this and got it in the mail, started using it. I don't know if I noticed a difference. I remember talking about like not really noticing a difference whatsoever. I actually only used that 3-month supply and never reordered because it really didn't make a difference whatsoever. So that's just something that I don't recommend to people because it just didn't do anything for me. I take a B12 supplement now that does more for me, and it's a sublingual liquid dropper that does way more for me than that shot ever did. So I wanted to mention it, but I don't think it made a difference. I started month 2 at 249.8 pounds. By the end of month 2, I was 239 pounds. That is a monthly loss of 10.8 pounds. A total loss of 19.8. So within my first 2 months, I lost 20 pounds. Now, you can probably assume that I was on the highest high ever. Things were working, things were looking up. I started the injectable semaglutide. I was using the MIC-B12. I was eating more protein and tracking my food, and everything was on the up, and I was so freaking excited. I remember taking my first like before pictures, this before picture that I use all the time that you see all over the place. I took it in month 2 because I was starting to really feel like this was the real deal. I'm going to get to my goal weight. And it was the coolest feeling ever. And I was all in. I was all in, taking the pictures, making the videos. TikTok was like rising. I actually during this month reached out to Minute MD because people in my community on TikTok were messaging me, asking me where did I get my medications. I'm pretty sure I started my Facebook group at this point, and people were coming to me for recommendations and for ideas, and it was really, really cool. So I actually reached out to Minute MD, who I was already getting my medication from, and I just asked for an affiliate code, and they reached back out to me and actually signed me as one of their very first influencers, which was really cool. I think there was only 3 of us at the time that was representing Minute MD at that time. And they really believed in me, even though I wasn't even at 1,000 followers on TikTok yet. They fully believed that I was going to get there. I also started doing a whole bunch of research with like the milligrams versus units debacle, because people really have a hard time understanding the difference between milligrams and units and milliliters and all of the things. And I was a math teacher. I've been a math teacher. I still am a teacher, right? I was able to really understand and grasp those ideas. So I started really deep diving into understanding GLP-1 medications and doing a bunch of research, and it was just exciting and fulfilling for me. My mind is very ADHD. My mind is very entrepreneurial. I can't say that word, but like I always have to be doing something. My hands have to be in something. I have to be a part of something. And this really just gave me that fire that I needed and helped me get out of a deep, deep depression that I was in before I started these medications. Like in month 2, we also went on a trip to Vegas, and it was the first time that I actually enjoyed myself. Like I could walk better. Guys, I was only down 20 pounds, but I could walk better. I felt better in my body. I was just, like I said, it was just a really great time where I was just out of this depression that I had lived in for so long. All right, so going into month 3, I'm already down 20 pounds. Everything's going really well. This is the month where I started noticing a difference in the way that my face looked and the way I was looking on camera, and people started noticing as well and giving me compliments all the time. Month 3, I started off at 239 pounds, and by the end of the month, I was 234.8 pounds. I lost 4.2 pounds in my 3rd month on these medications, for a total loss of 24 pounds. And keep in mind that I am still on semaglutide. By month 3, I was moving up to 0.75 milligrams. Although I was having some pretty significant side effects at this time. The diarrhea started, these sulfur burps were happening. I was not feeling my best. So at the same time as I was moving up to 0.75, I was also considering and highly considering moving back down to 0.5. I hadn't yet. I was dosing up according to the schedule, because back then in 2023, nobody was talking about how you should stay on the lowest dose as long as possible. Like that wasn't a thing. You were following exactly what the doctor was telling you and what the prescription said, and the prescription said you're going to dose up every single 4 weeks, and that's what we were doing in 2023. And then at some point we started to realize that, wait a minute, we don't have to dose up this quickly. We can actually dose up slower. But once we started realizing it, then we all started talking about it. And a lot of the information and a lot of this that's coming now is from all of this testing that we did back in 2022 and 2023. And it's kind of cool to see how far the community has come since then. All right, so going into month 4, we are 24 pounds down. So month 4, I'm going back to work. Summer break is ending. And as I'm going back to work, my coworkers are starting to notice that I'm looking different. They are complimenting me. They are asking me what I'm doing. It's becoming a much bigger part of my life at this point, which I didn't hate. I'm also in month 4 starting to post more OOTDs. I'm starting to finally get comfortable putting my body on social media. These non-scale victories are a huge driving force to continue on this journey. So even when the losses started slowing down, which you will see they start doing here soon, these non-scale victories mattered so much more than the scale that regardless of that number, I was still going to be pushing forward. I was happy with what I was seeing in the mirror. I was able to post full body pictures and videos, and I was enjoying the whole social media aspect of things and sharing my story and sharing my journey. And it really just became a huge part of my life overall beyond the scale. So we went into month 4 at 234.8 pounds, and by the end of this month, I was 232.4. So this was a much slower month with only a 2.4 pound loss. But we also have to remember that I was going back to school, the stress factor, I'm sure my cortisol levels were heightened, and I'm sure my body was hanging on to everything as hard as it possibly could, which was probably working against me. But a 2-pound loss was still a win in my book. So now we're at a total loss of 26.2 pounds going into month 5. Month 5 was a huge month for me because I started to realize that I could teach without thinking about food. I was going to work, not starving all day long. I would eat my normal lunch and then I would get through the rest of the day and I wouldn't snack. I was noticing that my mind was just more clear. I was able to get more done. I was able to do more things because the food was not my primary focus. And I really started noticing this because of the back to school season, and every time I've ever taught in the past, I would be snacking all day long. Or if a snack was offered to me, I would take it without question. And I was starting to notice that I could say no to certain snacks. I didn't have to eat all of the things, or I wouldn't have to eat as much. So I was really starting to notice the changes that were happening within my body and within my mind. I started to film a little bit more what I eat in a days. I wasn't really tracking my food and I wasn't really trying to eat better, but I was trying to incorporate some more healthy ingredients, and filming more of those what I eat in a days always made it to where I was more aware of what I was eating, but I wasn't really doing much to try to make the weight loss happen faster. I was very much relying on the medication to do most of the work. So we went into month 5 at 232.4 pounds. And by the end of the month, we were at 224.9 pounds. That's a loss of 7.5 pounds. So after a month where I only lost about 2 pounds, the next month I lost 7.5 pounds was extremely exciting. And I definitely think that a lot of that had to do with back to school season. August is the busiest month of the school year. I was working, I was on my feet. I went from being pretty sedentary on summer break to walking all day long and teaching all day long in August, and that definitely was going to play a huge role in the amount of calories I was burning, and definitely a huge role in the amount of weight that I lost. So now we're down at 33.7 pounds. So going into my 6th month, I was 224.9 pounds. And this month I only lost 0.1 pound. So I had this huge loss and I was on a high, and then the very next month, pretty much nothing. But this was also the first time that I took a significant pause from the medication. At the end of September, during my fall break, we ended up going on a family trip to Hawaii, and I took off 3 weeks from the medication. So the last 2 weeks of September, I was not on semaglutide at all. And then the first month of October, I was not on semaglutide at all. So I went from a 0.75 milligram dose to not taking an injection for 3 entire weeks. I went to Hawaii. I went on a trip. I ate all of the food. I had the best time ever. And when I got back, I didn't lose any weight. And that's okay. That is life. That is expected, especially when you go on vacation and you are not even trying. You're not focused on the weight loss. You're focused on living life and enjoying your life. And that's what I did in September. I was still loving life. I was taking pictures with my kids, full body pictures. I was in a bathing suit in Hawaii and I didn't feel upset. I was not terrified to go out of the room. I went, I showed up, and I wasn't stressed out about the way my body looked that entire vacation. I kept up with everyone. I was able to do all of the things. This was the first family vacation where my size did not play a factor in anything that we did. So who the fuck cares if I lost any weight or not, right? All right. So let's go to month 7, where I'm about the same weight, 224.8 pounds, starting October. And by the end of that month, I was 221.9 pounds. So this was a monthly loss of 2.9 pounds. So almost 3 pounds. Getting back on the medication. When I did go back on the medication, I went back down to 0.5 milligrams. I did not start back up at 0.75. So semaglutide, 0.5 milligrams, and 1 week off. And then I still lost 2.9 pounds in this month, for a total loss of 36.7 pounds. October was a much quieter month, not much going on at all, nothing new, just kind of working and getting through life. But I was also still having those pretty significant side effects. Also, this is the month that I was introduced to split dosing, and I actually started trying to split dose to where I would do 0.25 twice per week to get up to that 0.5 milligram dose. And that was helping me a little bit with the side effects, but not as much as I would have liked. And I was also starting to hear about Zepbound and hear about tirzepatide and hear about all of these little whispers in my ear of, it's so much better. It has a GLP-1 and a GIP, and it's going to help with your side effects, and it's going to make you lose weight so much faster. And it was this huge, what if, right? This fairy dust magicness that semaglutide apparently wasn't, and I needed it. I wanted it. Just like the injectable versus the sublingual, right? I am very much easily influenced into wanting what everyone else has. I don't know who's not, right? But I am very impulsive. I am probably one of the most impulsive people you will ever meet in your entire life. If I want something, I want it then and there. If I want a haircut and I can't go get a haircut, I cut my own hair. I am so impulsive. I cannot wait for anything. So when I made that decision that I wanted to get on tirzepatide, because I was hoping that the side effects would be less and I was hoping that the weight loss would kick back in a little bit faster, that decision was done and nobody was going to change my mind. So going into month 8, I was weighing in at 221.9 pounds, and I reached out to Minute MD, who I was still getting my medications from, and talked to them about switching over to tirzepatide, and they were completely on board. And I started tirzepatide somewhere around November 16th of 2023 at a 2.5 milligram dose, which is the lowest dose of tirzepatide. So month 8, I was on semaglutide for half the month and tirzepatide for the other half of the month. And I ended up losing 3.1 pounds, bringing my weight down to 218.8 pounds. So a total loss of 39.8 pounds. I'm getting very close to that 40-pound mark. It was a little bit of a bigger month, so I'm starting to think that tirzepatide is the real deal and that it's going to help me make this weight loss so much faster. Although now that I'm breaking down these numbers, my weight loss actually did not slow down with semaglutide. The only reason it slowed down was because of my vacation. And then after the vacation, my side effects kicked up a notch for some reason, and I was just kind of over it. And then Zepbound became a huge deal, and tirzepatide became a big deal, and I needed it, and I wanted it, and I made the switch. But ultimately, if I could go back, I don't know if I would have done it. I'm not mad that I did it. It's okay. Everything's working out. But I don't think that it was this necessary jump that I needed to make, even though when I was in it, I thought I did, if that makes sense. Thanksgiving came and went this month. I ate a normal amount of food. I didn't overeat. I didn't overindulge. Still lost 3.1 pounds the month of Thanksgiving. So everything was working out. Everything was good. Everything was golden. I wasn't tracking. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything extra. The weight was just coming off. So let's get into month 9. Month 9, I started off at 218.8 pounds and ended at 217.7 pounds with a total loss of 1.1 pound, making my running total 40.9. December was just a slower month. There was a lot going on with Christmas and shopping and extra treats and extra food. And I definitely didn't super overindulge, but I overindulged enough to where my weight loss definitely slowed down in December. I was also on the 2.5 milligram dose of tirzepatide for like 6 weeks. So moving all the way through to January is probably when I moved up to the 5 milligram dose. I do remember Christmas this year being really cool though. It was the first year that we got family pajamas and I was able to buy an extra large instead of a 2XL or even a 3XL. Before I wouldn't have even tried because I didn't want to have to buy pajamas in such a large size, and then my husband would just get an extra large and it would make me feel really extra big. So being able to buy like the size smaller than my husband was a huge deal, and just being able to match my family and feel good and take family pictures and all of the things. December was a very great month when it came to non-scale victories. So going into 2024, I was on a high. I was very excited. I was pushing forward. I was ready for a new year, new year, new me, all of the things. I was in it all. I was ready to hit Wonderland. Heading into month 10, I was 217.7 pounds. And I ended this month at 209.8. So in January, I lost a total of 7.9 pounds. This was like the beginning of my journey all over again, right? And I had just started tirzepatide and I was so excited and I was like, holy crap, tirzepatide is a beast. Tirzepatide is so much better than semaglutide. And I was completely convinced that this whole new era was starting and I was going to get to my goal weight so quickly. That's not what happened. It was just a January thing. New year, new me mindset. But I'm down a total of 48.8 pounds. So in month 11, I went into it at 209.8 pounds. And at the end of this month, I was 206.8 pounds with a total loss of exactly 3 pounds. Another really solid month, but not like something so extraordinary like I thought it was going to be. But I'm down 51.8 pounds. So I crossed that 50-pound threshold, which was really awesome. I also noticed that in February, the OOT started kicking up. I started really posting on TikTok Shop. I started getting brands reaching out to me, sending me clothes, sending me all of the things, makeup. I was getting so many free samples in February and posting so many videos. The TikTok Shop era definitely started in February of 2024, and that was really cool. I also started a YouTube channel in February of 2024. Not this channel. I started another channel. I went all in over there on that channel. I was posting shorts and long form content, and my channel was growing surprisingly fast. But I didn't know what the hell I was doing because posting shorts as a new YouTuber is highly detrimental. My subscribers were growing so fast and I was getting super excited about the whole idea of getting monetized and the idea of being on YouTube full time and being able to do all of these things on YouTube. And while my subscribers count was getting high, my long form content was getting no views. My watch time hours were growing so slowly because all of my subscribers were subscribing from my shorts because I was posting these amazing before and after shorts, and all of these people were liking them and subscribing to my channel, but they only watch shorts, so they were not clicking on my long form videos, so my click-through rate dropped drastically. And this stuff can mess with your mind, right? Like even like I know this has nothing to do with weight loss, but when you are going all in and you're highly excited about something and you're like up here and then all of a sudden it just starts crashing down right in front of your eyes, like that's going to affect your weight loss. That's going to affect your stress levels. It's going to affect everything, and it definitely did. So I remember thinking that like everything was crumbling at this time, but in reality, I was still losing weight. I went into my 12th month, my 1 year at 206.8 pounds, and I ended that month at 203.2 pounds. So I ended up losing 3.6 pounds that month, which is a really great month, but I also like was not at that 200-pound mark, which was really upsetting to me. But I pushed forward. Total loss of 55.4 pounds at my 1 year anniversary of GLP-1 medications. Month 13, a lot of cool things were happening. I had decided I was going to leave my current teaching job and get a brand new job. So I went and interviewed, got hired right away. It was really exciting. So now I'm in this like super exciting moment of I'm going to be starting a new school, somewhere where I really wanted to work. Things were looking up. My YouTube channel was still doing pretty good. I was very excited about all of the prospects of the upcoming year. I started month 13 at 203.2 pounds. And by the end of this month, I was 198.4. So it was during month 13 that I actually crossed into Wonderland, and that was so awesome. And it is. And I don't want to take away from this because I mean it's just a number, and once you hit it, like nothing really happens, like nothing really changes. You just keep going with your journey, and it's a celebration. And I talked about it on social media, and I was excited, and all of my community was excited, and everyone's excited for me, and it was really cool. But ultimately, like, it wasn't the finish line, so we really just kept moving forward. But now I'm at a total loss of 60.2 pounds. But I also need to note that I got all the way to Wonderland without tracking my food, without exercising, without changing any habits whatsoever, and the medication really did do all of the work by eliminating my food noise and just helping me eat less food. So going into month 14, I was 198.4 pounds. And month 14 is the first month that I actually gained weight, 0.3 pounds. So I pretty much maintained. I ended this month at 198.7 pounds for a new total loss of 59.9. This month, I also switched over to working with a new company. I switched over to Orderly Meds, which is where I was getting my medication from, just because they were more affordable. And I've always been a proponent of finding the most affordable medications for my community. And Orderly Meds was offering prices that were much lower than MinuteMD at the time. So I made the switch over to Orderly Meds to get my medications and to partner with. So I was going into summer with a lot of stuff on my mind, switching companies, YouTube channel that was doing pretty well. I was on TikTok Shop. I was making a decent amount of money on TikTok Shop. Brands were reaching out to me. I was getting sponsorships. There was just so much going on outside of the weight loss. That weight loss really just fell to the back burner once I got into Wonderland, and it slowed down drastically. Okay, every time I say that, I go to my next month, and it wasn't a slow month at all. I really think that living it, you feel like it's this slow progress, but now looking back at some of these months, they were actually really good months, and I didn't think they were. So when I look at month 15, I started that month at 198.7 pounds, and I ended it at 193.6 with a loss of 5.1 pounds. So that's not a slow month. That is a great month. Now I've lost a total of 65 pounds. So I feel like I was thinking that I was slow at the time, but maybe it's just because I'm thinking about like the last 6 months that have been really slow, because the last 6 months have been real slow, and we'll get into that. June was a good month. So this is summer, right? Summer, I'm at home, pretty sedentary, but also like doing a lot of videos. Like social media was like launching, right? I was on TikTok, I was on Instagram, I was on YouTube, I was posting videos left and right. I was building communities. I was enjoying everything about my weight loss journey. And I think because of that, I wasn't focused on the food, and I was just eating normally when I was hungry, and I was so busy that I couldn't overeat, and I lost weight. I also moved up to 10 milligrams during this time, but quickly realized it was way too strong and ended up moving back down to 7.5 for a little while. But there I even realized it was a little bit too strong. I also took a break from the medication in June. So I was on a 7.5 milligram dose, and I took a break because I went home to El Paso during this time and didn't want to be on the medications. I took maybe a 2-week break, and when I came back, I went all the way back down to 5 milligram dose, and I've never really gotten above that since then. All right, so month 16, we started off at 193.6 pounds and ended at 195.7. So that was a 2.1 gain. for a new total loss of 62.9. This was a month that I was on a 3-week break from medication because we went to Vegas to celebrate my sister-in-law's 40th birthday. So this was another moment of just living life, and I drank alcohol, I ate all of the food, we had the time of our lives. It was such a fun vacation for me, for my kids, for my husband, for my sister-in-law. It was an amazing time in my life that I will never take back. I will remember that trip for a very long time. It was so cool. Like, my sister-in-law took us to a show. We had like amazing dinners. We rented an entire like area with like a cabana and like it was like you could go inside and there was like a hot tub, like a whole thing. We stayed at the Venetian. It was an amazing trip. Like, the coolest trip I have ever been in Vegas ever was that trip in July. And yes, I gained weight this month, just like in September the year before when we went to Hawaii. On weeks like this, when we go on trips and when we're living life, if I gain 5 pounds, I gain 5 pounds. I will lose that 5 pounds again, and I'm never going to beat myself up about it, because that is life. And I'm not going to just live in this like constant state of like having to be in a weight loss and having to focus on my weight only. Like, that's not going to be my life. It never will be. And the cool thing about these medications is they are going to be there for me when I'm ready to go back on them, when I do take these breaks. And guys, that trip to Vegas was so much fun. So month 17, I started at 195.7 pounds, and I ended the month at 189 pounds. So I had a big loss after that gain. A loss of 6.7 pounds, now down for a total of 69.6. So even after having these months of fun living life and gaining weight, the months after, I'm losing it right away. And I don't think I realized this then, to tell you the truth. Like, this is actually, like, this blast from the past is good for me. Like, I absolutely am loving this, because I didn't realize these things either until having to go back in and deep dive. I have my notes there. That's why I keep looking over there. But it's really cool to see. So month 17, back to school time, super exhausted, on my feet, brand new school, brand new everything, brand new team, brand new. It was exhausting. Back to school this last year was exhausting. I had no idea what I was doing. I was learning everything fresh, and it was a lot. And because of that, I actually stopped posting on that YouTube channel because I just didn't have the time. And I was noticing that my views were going down anyways. It didn't seem worth it to me at the time, because nobody was watching my videos. Nobody was commenting on them. And I just did not feel the desire. Like, that channel was not pulling me to it like this channel is. And I just stopped. I just gave up on that YouTube channel and I let it die. I was still posting on TikTok. I was still posting on Instagram, but things definitely slowed down because school took a priority, because I was so busy figuring everything out. So going into month 18, I was 189 pounds. And I ended this month at 191.7. So this was another gain of 2.7 pounds. I definitely think that stress was probably playing a huge role at this time. While I loved my new job, I loved my new school, it was definitely a huge change from my previous school. Just a lot more expectations, a lot more things that I had to juggle and figure out. And I did. And it's worked out for the best. I absolutely love where I'm at, but it was definitely more stressful, and I'm pretty sure that played a role in my weight loss. So during this time was when I made the switch to Amble, which is who I currently partner with for GLP-1 medications. Again, they were offering lower prices, and I reached out to them because I really wanted to work with them, because I want to always bring the most affordable options to my community when it comes to getting compounded medications, because I'm a broke teacher and I can't afford it. And if I can't afford it, I don't think that you can afford it. And we need to get the most affordable options out there. So I started partnering with Amble this month, and I started working with Triquetra Supplements, which is a supplement brand that I use to complement my GLP-1 journey. It's my B12, it's my L-methylfolate, it's my GLP-1 Pre, which is fiber, it's my biotin, which is hair, skin, and nails. It's all of my supplements that I need to keep my body doing the things I need it to do, because I was noticing that energy loss. I was noticing just not feeling myself, snapping a lot easier, being super stressed out. And once I started these supplements, like everything changed, and I am obsessed with Triquetra supplements. But this happened during this month. So did partnering with Amble. A lot of life things happened in 2024 that really had little to do with weight loss, but a lot to do with my weight loss journey. None of these things would have happened if I was not on GLP-1 medications. During this month, we also made a huge decision, and my husband decided to quit his job, and we decided to sell our house. So again, a super stressful month. We were packing up our entire house. We were moving in with my sister-in-law by October 31st. And it was just a lot going on. My weight loss really took a backseat during this month anyways. So month 19, I went into it 191.7 pounds, and it ended at 191.8 pounds. So it's a gain of 0.1. Again, I pretty much maintained this month. It was packing, moving, stress galore, all of the things. But at the same time, TikTok Shop was something that I was like very highly focused on. So I was making videos like crazy because of Black Friday shopping. And I had a lot of things on my mind, again, to where the actual weight loss part of my journey was just in the back seat. All right, month 20, I started at 191.8 pounds and I ended at 190.7 pounds. So we lost 1.1 pounds for a total loss of 67.9 pounds. This is the month where we're starting to get settled into my sister-in-law's house. We are celebrating Thanksgiving, and we are just kind of going day by day. Not a lot was happening in November. It was just kind of a nothing month, just really just settling in, figuring things out, starting to realize that maybe it wasn't going to be the best place for us. I was feeling a little bit boxed in. I definitely am someone who needs my own space, and it was kind of stressing me out a little bit. Black Friday on TikTok Shop was a huge letdown, and so I'm stressed out about money at this point. Things are just not looking very great. And then month 21 hit. I started off at 190.7 pounds and ended the month at 189.8. So another very small loss, but a loss is a loss. Almost 1 pound for a total of 68.8 pounds. Christmas was this month. Again, we bought family pajamas. I was so excited about it, taking pictures with the family. Everything was just really good. Christmas, again, was a really great time. We were at my sister-in-law's house. Spending the Christmas with her was amazing. It was just a really, really good month overall, even though I only lost a pound. Month 22, I started at 189.8 pounds, and I ended at that same 189.8 pounds. There was no loss. There was no gain, which is kind of crazy because it was January again, and usually in January, like, things fire up. But I will tell you that I did start working out. So I decided that 2025 was going to be my year of exercise. So in January, I did show up and I actually worked out. And I honestly believe that played a huge role in not losing any weight, because when you first start an exercise routine, it's very likely that your body is going to hold on to that water weight and it's not going to release it. And I think that's what happened in January. My husband started taking tirzepatide right alongside with me. I also went up on a sky course this month for like the first time in my entire life. I would have never done it at my previous weight. So I went up all of the levels. I zip lined. I even walked off the top edge. Like, I did all of the things. I never would have done that if I was not the weight that I was. When I was 277 pounds, you would not have seen me up on that thing. So it's a great month overall, even though I didn't lose any weight. I also made over $8,000 in TikTok Shop commission in January. And I tried to revive my old YouTube channel in January too, because like things were just looking up and everything was getting exciting. And so I tried to revive that YouTube channel and it completely failed. I was not able to revive it at all. And we started to think about moving out and into our own place. It was way earlier than we expected. We actually had every intention of living with my sister-in-law for like 5 years and save up a whole bunch of money. And I couldn't do it. It wasn't anything to do with her. She was amazing. She was sweet. She never made me feel bad about anything. I just felt boxed in. And I am someone who can't feel boxed in. Like, I moved out as soon as I was 18 years old. I can't do boxed in. And I felt boxed in. I felt limited. I didn't have any space. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And so we had said, let's go look at some places and we will move out by the end of the year. We ended up finding a place that had a really good special, and we ended up moving out in February instead. And I am very happy that we did. All right. So month 23, we're almost there. 189.8 pounds is what I started at, and I ended at 185.4 for a monthly loss of 4.4 pounds. Moving into my own place, I think, made a huge difference in my stress level, in the way I was feeling. Also, just moving in general probably helped me lose weight. And I ended up having a really solid month. In February, actually, I think on February 16th or 19th, one of the two. I think the 19th, actually. I think February 19th is when I posted my very first video here on this channel. 0 videos, 0 subscribers, 0 watch hours, a completely fresh, brand new channel. My very first video here on this channel, and I was so excited about it. TikTok Shop was still doing really well at the time. I was also still partnering with Amble. Like, my life in all was just really at a good spot. I was in my own place. I had my space. I have this entire room to myself. Like, it was just amazing. And I lost 4.4 pounds for a total loss of 73.2 pounds. All right, month 24. That was last month. We're so close to the end. I started last month at 185.4 pounds, and I ended it at 183.1 pounds for a total loss of 2.3 pounds. So again, a pretty solid month. It was a good month. I don't know why I feel like I've had months where I didn't lose weight. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I was weighing myself every single day. So when I weigh myself every single day and I'm watching it just go up, blah, 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 then I'm starting to think that I'm stalled for a really long time and I'm not actually losing weight. But then when I look at the weight from month to month, I was actually losing weight almost every single month during my journey, and I didn't even realize it. So now that I'm weighing in week by week instead of every single day, I definitely think that this entire next year is going to be so different than the last 2 years. Just in understanding my numbers. During month 24, I started to try to enter exercise a little bit more. I tried to like, we were settling into the new house. We were just kind of in the motion of things. Not much is happening, but my mind was going like 100 miles per hour. Like, I have all of these ideas of where my YouTube channel is going to go. What am I doing on TikTok Shop? What am I doing on Instagram? Building a community. My mind is so everywhere all the time. Like, I just have so many ideas in here, and I just want to get them all out all the time, that sometimes they don't come out in the right ways or they don't come out in the right times. And I just feel like everything is happening and it's good right now, and I'm hoping that keeps going. All right, month 25, last month. I started the month at 183.1 pounds, and I ended it at 182.5 pounds. For a loss of 0.6. It was slow. Total loss is 76.8 pounds, which is where I'm sitting right now. I actually weighed in this last weekend at 181 pounds, so maybe closer to 77 pounds total loss on GLP-1 medications. Although the last year, my weight loss has really just taken a back seat, and it has not been the forefront of my goals and my mission. And that changed significantly last month when I created the 5-month challenge. I am going on a cruise in October, and I desperately want to get to 150 before my cruise. So I created the 5-month challenge specifically so that I can get to my goal weight by October. I'm doing these 5 habits every single week to get me to my goal weight. So that means that my weight loss is very much in my front focus right now. I am tracking everything I eat. I'm trying to add an exercise. I'm tracking my protein, my fiber. I'm posting a weekly vlog every single Sunday with you guys when I step on the scale. My weight loss is very much my primary focus moving forward the rest of this year. I fully plan on hitting my goal weight by the end of 2025. Looking back on all of these months, it is completely wild to me to see that I absolutely did lose weight almost every single month. Because if you would have asked me, I would have said, absolutely, I did not. I would have said it was so slow, and I had months where I gained more and I had months where I stayed the same. And without actually deep diving into this data, I would have not been able to answer any of your questions when it came to the progress that I made over the last 2 years. It actually was better than I thought. And I've really made myself think that it was worse than it even ever was. Yes, it's been slow. Yes, there's many people that have gone faster than me, but my progress was still making progress the entire time. It wasn't fast and it wasn't perfect, but it was still working. All right. So now we're here today in month 26 of my weight loss journey. 5-month weight loss challenge. YouTube channel is doing amazing. This community is being built. You guys are amazing. The comments you leave me, the fact that you guys even voted in the poll to pick this video, the women in her glow era, which is my completely free community that you can get into. The link is down in the description. We have a Discord, we have a community space, we talk to each other every single day, we are part of each other's journeys, we weigh in every Sunday together. This space is so precious to me, and it's going to help me hit my goals. And I hope that this space helps you reach your goals too. If you want to be part of this community, if you want to be part of my journey and you want me to be part of your journey, please do not leave here without subscribing to my channel. Like this video, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you watched the entire thing. Like, holy smokes. This is a long video. I have been talking for a really long time. If you make it all the way to the end of this video and you see this, put like a little like time emoji. Some sort of like, you can do like the timer or a time clock, something, a watch, some kind of time emoji will tell me that you watched all the way to the end. But then also leave me another comment letting me know like how well I did. Did I talk too much? Did I jibber jabber a little bit too much? I probably did, but if you watch my channel, you know that's just what I do. But yeah, I just the future of me is just unraveling, like right in front of you guys, right in front of our eyes. And I really want you to be part of this journey, right? If you want to watch my full like weight loss story of just like how I got started, I'm going to link that here. But if you want to watch my video of the 5 GLP-1 myths that we've got to stop letting people believe, I'm going to link that one here. This is a video that I think should be doing much better than it is. So go watch that video, like it, and leave a comment. And then I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.